gonna play test this. Yep. Okay, this is much better. So we're not gonna play test this because it's already been play tested, but I'm gonna do a quick playthrough of how this plays. This should be fun because this is the final mission. I'm not gonna do the entire final mission because it's a bit of a story. You know, you got 4 missions that you gotta do, and each mission has its own flavor text. So I'm not gonna go over the flavor text with you, but everything that you need is inside this rule book. What I just did was this right here. It shows, okay, right there. That right there, this is what I did right here. I just did like the setup, and it shows you where the setup. So this, it tells you where to place all of your units, all of the enemy units. So we have the Grenadier, Panzer Grenadier, we got a Panzer Officer, got a Stormtrooper. Over here we have a Volksgrenadier, and then back there we got an MG42. How this plays is these are their cards. This tells them all of the information that they need. It gives them movement information as well as attack information. This is gonna be their hit points, how many hit points they can take until they're dead. There's other information over here such as how much their cover bonus, how far they can shoot and spot you, accuracy, how many dice to roll. Now, before I get in, oh, and here's the player. So these are the player cards, and over here you have your hit points, and then you have your ammunition. So every rifle, this is the rifle right here, the Carcon M91/41. So every rifle has different stats on there, and every time you shoot around, every time you roll a dice, for every dice you roll, you rotate that down. So you have ammunition that you have to, you know, keep track of. Yes. Okay, before I get into playing the game, there I go, right side up. Before I get into playing the game, I do need to say something. We have some updates from playtesting, and that's great. A lot of the components are out right now, getting remanufactured for a sampling that we can now send it to reviewers, because that's how far along we are. Actually, I've been starting to build the Kickstarter page for this game. And some of you are wondering how the game plays. You know, like what's the MSRP, you know, how much it's gonna cost. Just kind of give you an idea right now. We're looking at about $25 to $30 for the game, which is really good, and I'm really excited because this game doesn't have miniatures. If you remember, British versus Pirates has a ton of miniatures, and which are great, chipboard style tokens that pop out, and you have little standees that put in it, which bring the cost down, but the game's really fun. So you don't need miniatures for this game. I wanted to make a light, affordable sniper game, actually a sniper game in general, because there are no other sniper games that I saw, you know, that were printed this century. So as I was saying, the manufacturer right now is manufacturing 3 prototype copies. What I'm gonna play right here is the prototype, but it's about a month old. Totally cool, the changes are really small. You're still gonna get an idea of how to play Sniper Legends of Italy in this little playthrough. So everything that you see right here is pretty close to being done. There's only minor rule changes, such as some of these gear cards, let's do that, are permanent cards. So once you draw them, they're gonna be part of your sniper for the rest of the mission. You can reuse them over and over and over, really cool. But in this version, we don't have any permanent cards. Not that big of a deal. We're gonna play, like I said, you'll still get an understanding of how to play the game, how movement works and how attack works, and especially how hiding away from those filthy Nazis. Especially hiding from those filthy Nazis. So you're gonna be like diving in bushes. So let's get started. Okay, let's go over some of the board. So on the side, you have these numbers from A to T, and then 1 to 20. The rule booklet tells you where to place the NPCs. For instance, D18 for the Volksgrenadier, the Grenadier K3. So I already set everything up on the board. It's already good to go. We got the rule booklet over here if I need it. I don't think I will because I'm the game designer. Over here, we have the starting point for the snipers. These are the little yellow areas to start. This is where Sergeant Bishop and Sergeant Cross are going to start right here. Wabam. On the board, there are red lines over features that you cannot cross. but also there's red dash lines where you can see across and you can shoot across. So for instance, this rock face here, you can shoot from there to there, as well as there are yellow ones, which indicate that gives you a plus cover bonus right there. Every card has one. Snipers have them, and then the NPCs have them. And the most important is these green squares. So these green squares, whenever you land on top of them, you get an extra camouflage bonus, which only snipers have. They have an extra camouflage. You can see that right there, this little camouflage spot right there. So you get +2 to camouflage and then +1 to cover if you're in the yellow box. That's how fast you can move. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Let's go. It'll always start off with the players going first or the snipers going first. This is a 1 to 3 player cooperative game, so you can play it by yourself or with friends. I'm gonna play 2 snipers, which is Bishop and then also Sergeant Cross. Let me put this to 6 because you have not been hit yet. Over here we got 3, so both the snipers can move 3. We all take our turns at the same exact time, and that's good because you can really kind of like set up an ambush or attack that way. So let's go ahead and move Sergeant Cross. He can move 3, and you can move forward, backwards, as well as diagonal. And also there's multiple paths to go throughout the board. These little stars right here are where there are objectives. You got objective there, there, and one hiding over there behind the Volksgrenadier. So there's objectives that you need to get to. And our snipers are going to be the guys with the white tokens, and all of these green base tokens are the enemy. Except for this guy. He starts off with a red one because he's a MG. They are stationary targets. They don't move. It's just an easy identifier to see that that's an MG. It's starting off with red. But as soon as they see us, they're going to switch from green to red. So as soon as they see us and they start shooting at us, they're angry. They turn red. Let's get on with it. So we can move 3, 1, 2, 3. Oh, and I almost forgot. We always start off with, everyone starts off with 3. Well, the snipers start off with 3 skill cards. So these 3 will be for Bishop, and these 3 will be for Cross. And you can exchange these skill cards with each other if you'd like, but you need to be right next to each other to do so. And of course, these cards can remain face up. It doesn't matter because you guys are on the same team and you're just competing against the filthy Nazis. So you got a sharpened round, got a battle-worn boot, so this will give you a +1 speed, and then you got a satchel charge to, blow some stuff up. So for instance, like this sharpened round, I can discard it to replace my ammunition. I can use this effect if I'm using it correctly to give me a +1 accuracy bonus. I can discard this card and get a +1 accuracy bonus. Because there's wind involved, there's a little wind indicator in the middle telling you which way the wind is blowing across the board. You're a sniper, you got to keep in mind about the wind, so you can discard a card to get you an extra bonus. As well as these are the little icons on the bottom right where you can discard these cards to complete objectives. You may not have these cards during your objectives, so it might help to like hold on to them. Who knows? You don't know what the objectives are because the objectives are over here sprinkled throughout the board, and once you get to them, it's going to have a icon like right there. So for instance, if this icon was the icon for completing this objective, I could totally just discard this card and then I would complete the objective. And when you complete objectives, you have to draw event cards. They can be good, which is awesome, or they can be bad, which is terrible, because I had an entire squad of snipers get wiped out by an incoming artillery strike, because some of them really do help you out, especially when you need it. So we're gonna go around, try to complete some of these objectives and kill some Nazis and save the world. Okay, seriously, this time, let's go. Cross moved 3, now it's Bishop's turn. He can move 3 as well. We'll send him this way, 1, 2, 3. Now, I'm going to look at Sergeant Cross's weapon, see what kind of weapon he has. He has a rifle that can shoot 7 spaces using 1 dice, using one of these 8-sided dice. Okay, 7 spaces. Here we go. We're going to count it out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So he can shoot the Grenadier right now. And the Grenadier is over here, has 6 hit points, as well as has a cover of 7. So I'm really not sure if I want to start shooting just yet. You know, we're going to gang up on this guy. We're going to get Sergeant Bishop over here. So Bishop was going to move 1, 2, 3 over there. We're going to have Bishop go 1, 2, 3. Here's also the other thing. There's line of sight in here. I don't know if you can see it, but right there is a green square. So that green square is gonna block any line of sight beyond that point. How you measure that is you go from the center of the square to the center of the target square. If there's nothing obstructing it, such as a solid red line or a green box, then you can shoot. But because that center to that center is just blocked by that point right there, we cannot shoot at that guy just yet. And of course we can't shoot this guy because there's this rock in the way, and also there is a bush in the way. We can't do any attack actions right now, no big deal. We're gonna go ahead and move the NPCs and see where they end up. How the NPCs move is fairly simple. It's the closest enemy to a sniper. So both of these are fairly close. And we are gonna go ahead and move the Grenadier first. I come on over here to the Grenadier. I'm gonna come over here to the Grenadier. Looking at his stats, it says movement. Roll a d6 and move one square in that direction. 1 is north, 2 is east, 3 is south, 4 is west, 5 you remain stationary, and 6 you intuitively, or in this case the Grenadier intuitively moves towards the player snipers, which is over there. So we're going to go ahead and roll a d6. We're going to get this d6 and roll it and see which way he goes. So he gets a 4. 4 moves west. There is a compass up here on this side over here, which tells you which way is north, south, east, west. West is obviously this way. Let me set this bad boy back up. The Grenadier moves one space this way. Now, again, you can go inside of these squares, these yellow squares. This simply provides an extra bonus, which is not necessarily good, especially if we want to eliminate this guy really quickly. So that was his movement. Now we're going to go ahead and move the rest of them. Now, in situations like this guy couldn't move because it told him to move north. Well, he can't move north because there's a building right there. So all you do is simply re-roll. In this case, he rolled a 3. So 3 means you move south. So you're gonna move south. 1. There we go. So now the board is a little bit different. Things have shifted around. They're kind of, the Germans are on patrol, so they're patrolling the area. And now it's the sniper's turn again. And we're gonna try to get ourselves into advantageous locations and see if we can't shoot something. Oh, by the way, after they move, they need to check their line of sight to see if they're within, if they can spot a player. Again, this guy can't spot this guy because the rock is still blocking the line of sight. It needs to be 50% or more of the line of sight for them to spot you. Should we go for that dude or should we go for this dude? I think we are going to go, we're gonna move cross. Let's see what kind of cards we have. We have ghillie suit, bandages. Okay, so these are all offensive cards. We're definitely going to do cross. You're gonna move 1, 2. Now I can shoot at both of them, but I'm gonna wait for Bishop to get in range so we can see precisely what's gonna be the best action. Bishop's gonna move 1, 2. Oh man. Now snipers and units can obviously not occupy the same space. You can move through them if you have enough spaces to get through them. Bishop can't move through because I was trying to get him over here. Man. All right, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna shoot that guy because we both can see him. Again, there's dash marks right there that say we can see through these rock facing, but we can't obviously occupy that space. But we can shoot and see them. Here we go. This is the fun part. We're gonna do cross first. So cross has this skill card, sharpen round, gives them +2 accuracy. So we're gonna go ahead and use that. Doesn't cost anything to use these cards. It's gonna give me a +2 accuracy. So whatever I roll, I'm just gonna add +2 to that number. So we're gonna come over here to the weapon. Cross can only roll 1 die, so 1d8, that's it. But he has an accuracy of +3, and if you use that card, it's +5 total. Now, because I'm shooting, I have to use 1 ammunition. So my ammunition goes down. That's something you have to keep track of. Make sure you don't run out of ammunition. There's an ammunition point over there where you can replenish your ammunition, or again, you can discard a card to get full ammunition again, but we're not. We're gonna go ahead and use that. So I'm sitting at +5. I'm gonna shoot this guy. He has no cover. He's not in a yellow box. The stormtrooper, looking at his numbers, he is at a +8. So he is at 8, and I simply need to roll this dice, add those numbers to it, and it needs to be above 8 to do some damage. Now, if I roll like a natural 8, or if I just roll an 8, it's a headshot if I'm hitting someone that is green. So if he's green and I roll an 8, it's an instant kill headshot. That would be amazing. And it's a 1. God, it's terrible. So here's what happens. It's a 1, I obviously miss. 1s are auto miss. You roll a 1, it's an automatic miss. You roll an 8, it's an automatic hit. This sucks because not only did I not do damage to him, but now he's red. So we simply get his token, swap it out with a red one, and now he's very angry. Boom. So this guy, he knows what's up. I just shot at him just because I shot at him, even though I didn't do damage. He's red, he's angry, he's gonna start looking for me. So I use this card, put it in the discard pile, and this really opens things up. Sergeant Bishop, go on and be a hero. He's shooting the M1 Grand, and he only can shoot 4 spaces. So 1, 2, 3, 4. He can't shoot him, and he's already moved. NPC's turn. Let's see what happens. All right, the NPC are gonna go. It's gonna be him because he's been shot at. He's gonna try to figure out where he's been shot at by. So what he does is, all right, I'm gonna use the artillery officer as an example. So during an attack, you automatically move 2 towards the nearest sniper. This NPC must be within range and have LOS, line of sight, to continue. Roll a d8 plus the binoculars. It must be equal or greater than the sniper's camouflage to continue. Roll a d8 plus the accuracy must be equal or greater than the sniper's cover to deal damage. So it goes in 2 phases. First they have to spot you, and then after that they need to shoot at you to see if they do damage. So there's 2 phases. We can still be safe if he doesn't spot us. So he's gonna move 1, 2 spaces towards the nearest sniper. Then he's gonna roll a d8 plus his spotting binoculars, which is 5. So 5 plus whatever he rolls needs to be greater than Sergeant Cross camouflage. Sergeant Cross has a camouflage of 8, so let's hope for some real low numbers. Now, because they are right next to each other, they can swap out cards, and we're gonna go ahead and swap this out. Get that ghillie suit, which is gonna give him +3 camouflage. All right, so let's add things up. Sergeant Cross right now is gonna be sitting at a 9 camouflage, and the Stormtrooper has a binoculars or a spotting of 5. So 5 plus this roll must be greater than 9. Oh, thank God. He rolled a 2, and that's perfect. Our guy is still camouflaged. He's not going to be able to shoot at him because he can't spot him, but he did get shot at and he's very angry. Discard that. Now it's going to be this guy's turn. He's not going to be activated to red until he's either shot at or within range of someone else being shot at. So that means someone within 3 spaces. 1, 2, 3. You know, if you're shooting within 3 spaces, they can hear you, and then they're going to activate the red. He's not within range, so he's still moving green. So he's just doing traditional patrols right now. The Grenadier rolls. He gets 2, so he moves east 1 space. That way 1 space. After the NPC moves, if there's someone within line of sight and range, which is 5 spaces away, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, that's how far he can see, 5 spaces. So he's within range of Sergeant Cross. Now he's going to do a binoculars check. So it's simply, he gets his binocular stat of 5 plus this dice roll, and it must be lower than Sergeant Cross, which is at 8. Otherwise, he's gonna turn red and start shooting as well. So 2 plus his binoculars of 5 equals 7. That is not greater than 8. Awesome. Or it's not equal to or greater than 8, which is fantastic because now he can't see him, and we're still good to go. So I'm gonna go ahead and move the rest of these NPCs and see what's what. Right, so things are getting a bit hairy here. We need to eliminate that guy before he spots or hears us, so we need to get busy with it. Here is what we're going to do. We're going to place this satchel charge first. Comes with a little token right there, satchel charge. You can place it adjacent to your square, and I think right there is perfect. Place the satchel token within 1 square of your sniper. It'll detonate anytime you want, and that has a blast radius of 1 square. So we kind of got to scoot back and get away. But before we do that, we're going to go ahead and shoot at the Stormtrooper first with Sergeant Cross. We got 1 dice that we're using. We're using our rifle, so it's going to consume 1 ammunition. accuracy of 3. I don't have any other bonus cards I can use, so I've got an accuracy of 3. He's not in cover. I'm trying to beat the Stormtrooper's cover of 8. So I'm at 3. I need 5. A 5 or better would be fantastic. Booyah! So we roll the 5. We hit him. What happens here is a couple things. First, you get a gear card, which we add to our hand. And also, Mr. Man over here, he takes 1 damage. Perfect. Now he's really angry. But it's okay. I'm feeling rather good about this because I'm going to move 1, 2, back into hiding in this bush over here. And Sergeant Bishop is going to do his thing. Now, Sergeant Bishop's rifle has a range of 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, which he can definitely do. And that is going to be 3 dice. Now, it consumes 3 of his ammunition. So it goes from 6 to 3, like so. And then I'm going to roll these. Now, his accuracy is 2. So with a 2 accuracy, he has to beat the Stormtrooper's 8 cover. So this should be actually kind of easy. The M1 Grand is a pretty good rifle, so we're going to go ahead and fire away. So 5s or better would be fantastic. Our actually 6. Yeah, so we only got 1 hit. 1 hit, so he goes down to a 4, which is, that's fine, because we got more tricks up our sleeve. We have a teller mine. We're pulling out all the stops for this guy. We're gonna place a teller mine. I was thinking about it. Actually, I will. I'm gonna place it right there. And, no, I can place it right there. And I'm going to move 1, 2, 3 spaces and hide. So we have these satchel charge and the teller mine already set up on the board, and I have a feeling he's gonna walk right into it. So that concludes our turn. It's gonna be his turn. The Stormtrooper is gonna be the first one to go, and he's gonna move. The first thing he does is move 2, 1, 2, right onto the satchel charge. Now, we can detonate these things at any time, and we're gonna detonate the satchel charge right now. All the instructions are pretty much on these cards. So I can detonate it at any time, and it has a blast radius of 1 square. Now you gotta watch out because some of your snipers could also be in that blast radius, and that might cause trouble. So we're gonna detonate it. It has a range of 1, you know, blast radius of 1. It's 1 dice with 4 accuracy. So we get a D8, roll it, treat it just like an attack action from a sniper. So we're sitting with 4 accuracy, and we have to beat his 8. So 4 or better would be fantastic. And we roll the 6, which I will cheerfully take. So this satchel charge explodes, takes 1 damage, and it goes down to 3. Right, we still have that teller mine right there, but it's still the NPC's turn. And the only way the teller mine goes off is whenever, if he walks on top of it. He's gonna do a spotting to see if he can spot someone. An explosion just went off right next to him, but he's gonna look to see where it's coming from again, and it's gonna be Sergeant Cross because he can't see Sergeant Bishop because of that rock's in the way. So he's gonna try to spot Sergeant Cross. Now, Cross did a smart thing, and he's inside the bushes right there, so that's gonna conceal him a little bit. He has the binoculars of 5, plus this, he's gonna see if he can spot Sergeant Cross, who has a camouflage of 8, plus 2. So Sergeant Cross right now is at 10. He's at 10, and the Stormtrooper has a spotting of 5. So the Stormtrooper needs a 5 or better. He needs that or better to spot Sergeant Cross. He rolls. Oh, he rolls a 1. Sweet, and we'll definitely take that. 1s are auto fail, automatic fail, nothing happens. So thank goodness he didn't spot Sergeant Cross because this was gonna get dicey. So the Stormtrooper is hot on the heels trying to find out who's shooting at him, and we're still lurking in the bushes. All right, so the Grenadier, it's their turn. Now, the Grenadier can't spot anyone, no big deal, but he's gonna go ahead and roll. He rolls 3. So he's gonna move south 1. And I'm gonna go ahead and move the rest of these guys. All right, woo, okay. Keeping it together, man. By the way, whenever I successfully shot him on that last turn, I picked up a card called Throwing Daggers, and this is cool because I can do an insta-kill if I roll a 7 or an 8, which is definitely gonna be really, really helpful. So I might actually try this before I try shooting that guy. But we're getting ahead of ourselves. Okay, the Stormtrooper. Let's get busy with him. I'm gonna go ahead and shoot. Sergeant Cross is just gonna shoot him first. You can move first or you can attack first. We're gonna go ahead and do the attack first and start blasting him. I got 1 dice. My ammunition goes from 4 to 3. I got 1 dice, and I'm gonna roll. Oh my gosh, I rolled a 1. Are you kidding me? Okay, so that was a fail. Didn't hit him, but I can move. So I'm gonna go ahead and move 1, 2, 3. And now it's Sergeant Bishop's turn. Bishop is gonna sacrifice this bandage card and use this rock. So this rock icon down here makes the enemy move in that direction immediately. So here's how rocks work. So some cards have rock icons. Discard this card when you select a square within 3 spaces of you. All NPCs within 3 squares of the one selected move 1 towards that square instantly. This is going to be perfect because this is what I'm about to do. I'm going to discard this card. He moves 1 because I'm going to throw the rock right there. It's within 3 spaces of Sergeant Bishop, and the NPC moves there instantly. What did the NPC just land on? The teller mine. Detonate when any unit moves onto the square. So it'll detonate whenever anyone moves on the square. The blast radius of 2. Okay, this kind of sucks because my guy's within 2 spaces. Now I haven't moved him yet, so I am gonna move him. I'm gonna move him 1 back, and there we go. So detonation radius of 2. How teller mines work are just like everything else. I got 2 dice, 4 accuracy. This is gonna be sweet. So 2 dice versus the Stormtroopers 8. So 4 accuracy plus this. So whatever I roll plus this. Sweet, a 5 and an 8. Booyah. 2 hits. So that teller mine did 2 damage to this guy. This poor guy, he's hitting satchel charges and teller mines. His hit points go down 2. So now he's just sitting at 1. So those 2 gear cards have really helped out substantially. Thank goodness that we had them. He is down to 1 over here. Victory's hard. Okay, so now it is the Germans' turn. They're gonna go ahead. This guy's gonna be activated first. He moves 2 spaces. He only needs to move 1 because their objective is just to move adjacent to a sniper. Now he's gonna do a spotting check. Yes, you're point blank range, and he's still doing a spotting check because you're snipers and you're camouflaged. And let's see if he can spot you. He has line of sight, and he's obviously within range, so he rolls a D8 plus his binocular. His 5 binoculars plus this needs to be greater than 8. Oh, he rolled an 8. That's an automatic. He spots him. The NPCs can do a little payback. We're gonna fire away. So he gets 3 dice with 4 accuracy against my cover of 6. So 2 or better is gonna be a hit. These guys are tough, hard as nails. Dang, so 1 is an auto fail. Let's zoom in. 1's an auto fail, 8 is a hit, and 4 is a hit. So I take 2 damage. So Sergeant Cross, you go down to 4, and that was a good job on his part. All right, however, I don't think he's gonna live to see tomorrow because we're about to waste this guy. Bishop, you need to be a hero. It's gonna use all of his D6 or all of his ammunition. We're gonna roll 3 dice. All we gotta do is deal 1 damage to this guy. We can do it. And we need a 6 or better. And come on. Oh, we finally got 1. It's a 6. First thing you do, you get a gear card. Awesome. A camo helmet, which is great, but also most importantly, down here we have an ammunition, which we're gonna discard this immediately and get full ammunition. Perfect timing because you just ran out of ammunition. And this guy is now dead. Stormtrooper died. So we just killed the Stormtrooper, and that was very satisfactory. So you remove his token, you remove his card, and now you have a little bit less. Meanwhile, these people, they're still gonna be roaming around and patrolling. Okay, and that is a turn in Sniper Legends, or I guess that's how you would kill someone in Sniper Legends. You're gonna sneak around and use cover and concealment throughout the entire game to go around and complete objectives. We didn't even get to an objective, but that was actually quite hard to kill to kill this one guy. That took way more than necessary, but we did it. So we got 1 down, 1, 2, 3, 4. There's 5 more to go, and there are 4 objectives that we have to complete. Each mission takes about 60 minutes to play, and there's 4 missions in there. It's double-sided mats, so you're gonna have a lot of fun trying to sneak around and kill these filthy NPCs. Hopefully you guys enjoyed that. So that's gonna wrap it up. I wanted to give you guys a playthrough of how this played. That is kind of like the overarching of it. There's a lot of really cool intricacies, such as you can have permanent cards, completing objectives, or even doing an instant headshot kill, which is always fun and super satisfying whenever you do that. The ghillie suit, the helmet, and the boots, and there's some really neat gear cards in there, and actually some of them came from playtesters, which I always like doing. I like hearing what people have to say because I can't make a great game unless you tell me if it's great. If you have questions, definitely ask down below. I'm always all ears. I love to hear people's input, things that they think should be in a sniper game. We have wind in there. We didn't even use any wind advantage cards. That's all I got. I just wanted to play real quick, especially because we're spooling up. We're getting ready for the Kickstarter for this bad boy. Other than that, keep rolling those dice. You know the drill. I'll see you on the high seas. Or hiding in a bush somewhere. I'll see you hiding in a bush somewhere.